Brianna, and I work with Noah's Assistance Dogs and the Canine Crisis Response Team. I have been working with Noah's now since 2005, and I've been working with Ben at Animal Hope for several years now, selecting dogs to do a multitude of tasks and services depending on the type of client. I do service dogs, we have done guide dogs in the past, and then we also do therapy dogs for visitation to facilities, and then crisis situations for the crisis team. All right, so tell me your name.
I'm Caroline.
And tell me your dog's name.
Ava. So I have a history of trauma. From a very young age up into now. So because of that, I have PTSD. So I've been in counseling since I was in 5th grade, I believe. And then I've been on several antidepressant and anti-anxiety medications.
Okay.
That I all had reactions or side effects from.
When I met Carolyn, she's a young girl who unfortunately has had these horrible things happen, and I knew that I needed to find a dog that could help her heal. So Ben had contacted me saying that he had gotten these dogs from Korea from the meat dog trade. And I had always been really interested in the Korean Jindos as a breed. I had met several that he had gotten in through his partners in South Korea, and they had always been the most wonderful, kind, just loyal, sweet, quiet dogs. And I had always wanted to train one for a client, but I never had the right client for the dog. He called me because I had contacted him about Carolyn, and he had gotten in a little dog named Rose at the time, who just seemed like there was just something special about her. She had a lot of fear, but a lot of potential. She didn't know how to be a dog. She didn't know anything at that point, but he wanted me to come down to Fort Worth to meet her.
It's amazing though how much trust she has. Think of the things this dog has seen in 2 years, you know, of life. Like, she's seen the most horrific things I can even think of.
She just had this natural curiosity, and just something about her was special. So I contacted Carolyn, we took a bunch of pictures of her, and Carolyn immediately was just like, that is my dog, I have got to have her. I asked her 100 times if she was sure she didn't want something else because it would be easier to train, but she was sure that that was the one. So we adopted Rose, we named her Ava, and we started training.
So I got into receiving transport of Korean dogs sort of by accident. A young lady had reached out to us 2 or 3 years ago to ask us about taking transported dogs, and I didn't know much about the Korean dog meat trade at the time. And we've received 40 to 50 Korean dog meat refugees since that time. I don't make any cultural judgments about what people choose to eat or not eat. However, what really got to me about these Korean dog meat refugees is that they're generally not humanely kept or slaughtered. These dogs are truly, the underdog. Rose, before she came to us, she was living in a cage behind a Korean restaurant with her sister Lily, and they were being fed food waste from the restaurant, and eventually they would have been slaughtered and eaten. However, Lily and Rose got parvo, and they ended up being rescued by some Korean rescuers, and they were treated for parvo. And then after her recovery, Rose was attacked by another dog at the Korean shelter and was injured very badly before she came to the United States. So this was a dog that had been a trauma victim herself, and I thought it would be a unique opportunity for her to help someone recover from trauma as well.
Working with a Jindo has been one of the biggest challenges of my 16-year service dog career, but probably one of the most rewarding challenges I've ever taken on. When I first got her, she didn't really understand dog food, that it was edible. She didn't understand that grass was something to be enjoyed. She didn't know that people would actually want to talk to her or call her and get eye contact from her. So I had to teach her that she had a name, and I had to teach her how to dog. But, she also has a trauma history, just, living behind a restaurant. She came from a cage where other dogs were pulled out, killed, and eaten. Unfortunately, in that culture, they believe that the meat tastes better if they're brutally killed. And so these dogs witness other dogs being just horribly battered, abused, and then, tortured before they're ultimately killed and used in their, for food. One of the most shocking things to me with her was I had taken her to my in-laws' house one day, and there was a smoker grill going, and it didn't even occur to me that could be an issue. Well, the smoker grill wafted past us with that big billowing smoke, and she literally hit the ground, terrified. I felt so horrible. So she, her things that scared her in her training in her life, and the things that she had to overcome were very different. What I did with Ava, I wanted her to be able to implement this dog a little quieter and just a little more seamlessly. I didn't want her to have to feel like she has to ask her dog to do that. So what I trained Ava to do was always to close gaps and to make sure that people didn't have access to her backside or to her open side. So if she is in a store shopping and walking and, walks up to a freezer and opens the door, Ava's automatically gonna go to the open side between the freezer, the door. Where she's standing, she's gonna go to Carolyn's open side. So she's always watching 360 degrees what's happening around Carolyn. And that gives Carolyn the opportunity to be able to focus on her shopping or a conversation with a friend. Another thing that she does is provide an excuse to leave. If Carolyn's ever in a really stressful situation, she can just kind of, use the dog to say, she can have Ava stand up. Ava can stand and she can say, I gotta take my dog out to go potty, or I need to take her for a walk. She can provide an excuse to leave a stressful situation. If Carolyn doesn't feel safe, let's say she's having an anxiety issue, anything, if she just needs to leave a situation, Ava can take her out. Ava's been trained to find exits, so if they're walking through Walmart, all she has to say is find the door, find the door, find the door, and Ava will take her to the nearest exit. We've also taught her to do pressure therapy. She will do that from a standing position. If she's standing, she'll come up and put her paws up, which is nice too for just some, behavior interruption, freezing, things like that. She kind of gives a hug. If she's sitting on the floor, she's taught to come up over her lap. And if she's on the couch, she'll either get up on the couch with her and really snuggle, put her paws up, kind of give hugs, do some things like that. So those are her main skill tasks.
Oh, she fell down. She fell down. She fell down.
And have you noticed anything in your home, as far as having Ava here? Has anything been particularly helpful so far?
Yeah, I can finally shower.
Tell me about that.
So I had some trauma in my life. And so I have severe anxiety. So I struggle with being alone in my house, and this morning, I actually got a shower in the morning with my husband at work, and not have all my doors of my house locked, plus have the bathroom door open, and go in and wash my hair and come out. I finally got to enjoy my shower.
And how long has it been since you've been able to do that?
Wow, I don't even know.
It's awesome.
Years.
Very cool.